For a long time, riders on a tight budget, those who wanted a sport bike, something to look good on, something they could improve their riding skills on, the bike to have was Yamaha's R15. It looks sporty, offers you proper sport bike dynamics, and was pretty usable on a day-to-day basis. The R15 has had many rivals, especially recently. And the one that's really taking the fight to it is this, Bajaj's Pulsar rs200. Can the rs200 better the R15? For most riders, a motorcycle style quotient is nearly as important as its 0 to 60 and lean angle figures. And for some riders, styling is the most important thing of all. In either case, you will not be disappointed with these two. The R15, even when it's just standing around, oozes a sporting pedigree that's just so Yamaha. Yes, it is just that little bit shorter and narrower, but it is impossible to ignore or dismiss. Its design seems purposeful and the end result of many hours in a wind tunnel. The first fully fed Pulsar's design is also purposeful. Its purpose though seems to be to stand out and make an impression. It is very dramatic and distinctive from every angle. Is that good or bad? Your call. But typical of Bajaj products and something we appreciate, the rs200 packs a few extras, like the twin projector beams that offer superb illumination in the dark. Then there are the backlit switches and the more modern and smarter looking instrument cluster. The R15 is beginning to feel a bit dated on this front, with no clock or shift light on offer on its instrument cluster. When it comes to the looks, take your pick. It's completely subjective and we know that's polarizing. A lot of people love it. But between the two motorcycles, what's not subjective is the build quality, and you can see that the R15 looks better finished. The Pulsar misses out on the last 2/10 in terms of the fit and finish. For instance, there's a panel that's vibrating when we are riding and you can hear it, which can be a bit annoying. The other aspect which is not subjective is performance. And that's an area where the R15 is going to have to work really hard. Just like the Pulsar, the Yamaha has a liquid-cooled 4-valve engine and a 6-speed gearbox. But the Yamaha has a massive 50cc disadvantage. Its 149.8cc engine makes 16.8 bhp of power and 1.5 kilograms of torque. The good thing is the V2 makes torque more easily available from low RPMs, and the power comes in early as well. Also of great importance is the fact that the R15 is nearly 30 kilograms lighter than the rs200. Will all of that help the R15 match the might of the Pulsar? Let's see. The RS with its 199.5 cc's of displacement delivers a whopping 24.2 bhp of power and 1.9 kilograms of torque. In our V-Box tests, the rs200 was convincingly faster than the R15 to 60, and at 100 km an hour, it eclipsed the R15 by a massive 4 seconds. Its top speed of 137 km an hour is also higher than the R15 by 11 kph. But most importantly, the RS gets there a lot quicker because it's just so eager to rev and a lot stronger at the top end of its rev range. All of this makes the Pulsar feels like an incredibly fun and energetic companion. The only downside is that the fueling feels a bit inconsistent at times. For instance, when you make large throttle inputs at lower RPMs. So the rs200 has the better performance, no surprises there, and there are a couple of areas where it gives up ground to the R15. For instance, very smooth motor, but that's smoother still. And the throttle response at times is a bit inconsistent, and that can get in the way of getting the best out of the engine. But no doubt about it, this feels like the more fun engine. It is free revving, has a nice top-end performance which just suits sports fed bikes just so much. But the big question is, between these two sport motorcycles, which can offer better dynamics? Can the rs200 actually better the gold standard, that is the R15? The reason the R15 is so good is because of its ingredients. It's got a steel perimeter frame, a cast alloy swing arm, and a non-adjustable but linked monoshock. Of course, it also has superb tires from MRF. The Pulsar also has a pressed steel perimeter frame, and MRF's grippiest rubber till date. And yes, like the R15, it also has a telescopic fork at the front and a monoshock at the rear. But when you look closer, you'll find that the monoshock is directly linked and the swing arm is a regular box section unit. When the road starts twisting, the Yamaha starts unwinding. The R15's wheelbase may be smaller by 10mm and it may be lighter, but in corners it feels like the front wheel is nailed to the tarmac. The aggressive seating position means the rider ends up loading the front wheel, giving him more feel and confidence to go fast and hard through the corners. This confidence though comes at the expense of flickability. In this comparison, the R15 feels just a little bit heavier and slower when being tipped into corners. Another downside of its immense composure is that the R15 begs for more power, especially in this company. The RS, in contrast, is super quick, not just in terms of performance, but even in the way it goes into corners. You just need to nudge the handlebar and it flicks it with a yummy lightness and smoothness. You will be tempted to push hard right away, but it's best to spend some time to get to know how the RS behaves. When you go flat out through the corners, the RS can feel a bit nervous over bumps or during direction changes. It doesn't feel as composed and precise as the Yamaha, but as I spent more time in the saddle and pushed harder, I realized that the RS didn't bite back. You just have to trust the tires and the chassis, and the fun just keeps going on. Both these motorcycles offer disc brakes front and rear with strong stopping power. The RS though offers a larger 300mm disc brake at the front with ABS as an option. This also comes with steel braided hoses which gives you great feel at the lever. In fact, the bite is so strong that at low speeds, if you brake hard, you end up doing this.
So the R15 is still the benchmark because it's the easier motorcycle to get the best out of really quickly. The rs200, definitely very enjoyable, but it takes some time to get to know it, get used to it, and once you trust it, you can ride it fast and have a lot of fun on it. Honestly, both these motorcycles do great justice to the sport tag that they carry, and let's not forget though that both of them also have to deal with everyday duties. So how do they fare over there?
As you can see, the R15's rider seat is sharply angled. This tips the rider forward and loads up his arms. The Pulsar's is flat, giving an easier seating position. When it comes to the pillion seat, the RS's is actually usable and way more comfortable than the R15's. Now when you hit the highway, cruising at higher speeds will be more relaxing on the Pulsar because of the extra power. But that's not all. The long wheelbase and the heavier curb weight also make it more planted. Its ride quality is on the firmer side, but the RS handles large undulations very well. Meanwhile, on the R15, commuting can be a pain for your wrists and your lower back. However, the ride quality is plush, just like the seat cushioning. The R15 can also tackle low-speed city traffic conditions very well, thanks to its crisp and prompt engine. The surprise though was the rs200. It proved that it could offer lusty top-end performance and still be peppy and smooth at low speeds in the city. Like they say, there's no replacement for displacement. So whether it's roll-ons from 20 to 60 in second, third or fourth gears, the RS is a lot more brisk than the R15. So it will be enjoyable to use in the city as well. But in terms of fuel efficiency, it was the R15 that had the advantage. In the city, the R15 was more efficient by a massive 9 km per litre, but the gap became much narrower on the highway. Also, in terms of price, the R15 is cheaper, but only just. It is only the ABS-equipped RS that is significantly more expensive. But in our books, that extra cash is money well spent.
So as we've seen, Yamaha's R15 is holding on to its strengths really strong, but it's being outpaced by the competition. The Pulsar rs200 is offering a stronger package with its stronger performance and the fact that it is an enjoyable motorcycle even in terms of dynamics. And to top it all off, it is a little bit more versatile as well. So when you look at the two as packages, the Pulsar rs200 is the one that makes more sense.